how long does it usually take to create a champion from start to finish?
It actually kind of varies depending on the type of champion. So some of them are a little more difficult to work out the kinks and the bugs, particularly in that system. But mostly it's just we want to make sure over the course of months, as it may be, from concepting all the way through to release, that we have just a really, really great product and a really wholesome experience. So from anything, we take a lot of pride in making sure that it feels like the kind of champion it is. We've had actually quite a few that are in development and might just not work. And we've actually discussed that at some GDC talks too, which is, you're looking at a character, but it might not look like a Melee champion, but it is. And those are some design differentials which might actually push back some of the production of the champion, as it may be.
Okay, speaking of production of champions, does every champion designer have a different way of coming up with ideas for new champions, would you say?
I would say so. I do not work on the design team myself, but I do know a lot of the designers, and I think that their creative processes are very different. And I think that actually helps League of Legends succeed in so many ways, because everyone's creative in their own ways.
Okay. Any hints on any new or coming champions besides the ones that have just been released?
Actually, there's an entire wall up in the Riot building, which is full of ideas and concept art. So Vi actually came from that wall. We looked up and anyone can come up with an idea that they put up on the wall or a certain piece of art, and they can concept it themselves. And just walking by, people will say, "Oh, wow, that's really cool." Or obviously Vi was exceptionally popular. We looked at that on the wall. We're just like, "Nope, everyone wants that. Everyone wants to cosplay that. We need this." And so a lot of the ideas actually come from there in a lot of ways. And from what I've seen on that wall, and I do go visit it about every couple weeks or so, there's some really, really interesting things. I'm not sure if they'll actually make it to be a champion or not, but I really, really hope they do.
Okay, speaking of the champions one more time, Nikasaur, what would you say is your favorite champion and your favorite skin for that champion?
Oh, my heavens. I have to say my favorite champion, even though I'm actually really terrible with him, is Kog'Maw. And, I am not good at playing Kog'Maw. I'll be honest about that. But my favorite skin for him, and this is kind of weird, is Caterpillar Kog'Maw. I know it's just a recolor skin, like one of the last ones we've ever done, but it's my forum avatar. I loved the splash art, and it reminds me of a little dinosaur, so I feel like he should have been green in the first place. But I think he looks best in his, obviously, Jurassic skin, dino, and the Deep Sea. Deep Sea was also one of my favorites. Just gorgeously done.
Okay. Who would you say is the hardest champion for a brand new player such as myself or a few of the other DJs on the station would be to start with?
Are you going to challenge each other to play said character? I'm interested.
We had a little bit of a PvP tournament with our players and got spanked. So
I would say the most difficult champion, especially for me, some of the more complex ones to deal with combos and such, was actually LeBlanc. LeBlanc is super enticing to play. I really like her entire kit. If I could play any character, it would probably be LeBlanc, but I will never be able to play her. She's very, very it's glass cannon, it's very upfront damage, but she's very strong, but very difficult for me in particular. So I would say, step away from the whole LeBlanc thing.
Okay, on the flip side, well, what do you think newest for new players, which will be easiest?
I don't know. Easy is interesting. I think, they start off in the tutorial with Ashe, and I actually think that's a really, really good thing, because there's a lot of, you get to familiarize yourself with the skills, with the actual game. You don't have too many buttons or too much pressing to do to make sure that you can actually understand what's going on. So particularly one of my favorite supports, actually, the chick that I play the most is Sona. Sona is always viable. She's always in there, always making a difference, even if it's just a little bit. So you're constantly pressing those buttons, but you're still it gives a lot of awareness to what's around you, and she's a game changer with her ultimate too. So I would either say, if you want to start off support and just helping your friends, which I do a lot, start off with something like Sona, probably Soraka too. She's really strong. And also, if you want to go DPS, I usually tell my friends to go Ashe.